If you read the title, you're probably thinking, I'm really late to the party. I know, but I just picked up Granblue Fantasy Versus on the Steam sale because the base game was only $4. And man, what a great decision that was. I absolutely adore this game. Commonly, I've heard this game referred to as the anime Street Fighter, and while that statement doesn't really sound bad, the group who've said it before, or maybe just the people I've heard say it, typically say it with a negative connotation. It was always described to me as a slow or an extremely dumbed down game, but after playing the game myself, I understood where those people were coming from, but I did not agree. Anime games typically are complex, crazy, and difficult, especially some of those older titles, but Granblue isn't trying to be one of those older titles. It's its own thing, and I wanted to talk about why I think this game is just amazing. Let's talk about how combos feel, because let's be honest, if a game doesn't feel good to hit your opponent, why bother with that fighting game? The game's execution is not super hard. I was able to pick up Jita combos pretty quickly. I experimented with Gran, Fairy, and Zeta as well, initially leading towards Gran, but I decided Jita was fairly similar, had a better fireball and a Rekka, so yeah, I jumped over pretty quick. It seemed like a lot of the game's combos are generally normals leading into specials, linking back into a normal and repeat, especially if you're in the corner. It's a very simple but altogether fulfilling combo feel and overall game feel. And I'm in the camp that doesn't really like high execution anyways, so spending such little time in the training mode and still being able to do satisfying combos is huge to me. I work a lot, and the little time I do spend playing fighting games, I definitely prefer pressing buttons against other people. That is a huge part of why I like the game. I'm sure there are some execution monsters in this game, but Jita has quickly found a spot in my mainstays of characters. There are longer combos in the game, they all just seem to exist in the corner. Those are also, in my experience, not super hard. Just sometimes have a few awkward links, but with very little practice, I was able to consistently be hitting Jita's corner combo against my friends online. Another big make or break point of this game is the movement. Remember, it was called Anime Street Fighter, so yeah, there's no universal air dash, walking isn't super fast, and dashing can be pretty committal. It's not a blistering fast game, and unironically, it's just a fun, straight to the point, grounded fighting game. And as someone who primarily plays French bread games, this is a huge breath of fresh air to me. The option of spot dodge and roll do definitely help in terms of getting in. The game would definitely feel significantly worse without those, so I think those are a great addition when it comes to movement, but it's not overbearing. But getting to the main point, I do adore this game. I'm not overwhelmed by any of the characters I've had to learn to fight against. I've found a character who I just really vibe with. Each match I play just feels personal. I definitely feel like I'm playing against another person and not having to face against my controller or being smothered by knowledge checks. I understand that's not everyone's cup of tea, but man, this game just feels like it respects my time and rewards the mental aspect of things. On top of that, the game's visuals and music are spectacular. ArcSys definitely has nailed down the aesthetic of their fighting games, and this is just no exception. All that said, we have all seen the announcement of Granblue Fantasy Versus Rising. It seems like it's a new game you'll have to buy, sort of like how they used to do title updates, and I was originally just planning on waiting and picking that version up when it drops or maybe when it went on sale, since unfortunately the game in its current state doesn't have rollback netcode, which is a huge turnoff for me. Thankfully, this update that's coming out does have both rollback and crossplay, but it sounds like you're going to have to buy the game again. So that's why I didn't feel too bad about spending $4 to pick up the base game. But overall, the game doesn't feel terrible if you're playing against people in your region, and I was actually able to somewhat consistently find online ranked and lobby matches with just random people, not having to organize in a Discord. So its online isn't unplayable, like some games I've experienced, but with the rollback coming and Rising, my mild curiosity for the game has transformed into sheer excitement. All I can say, best $4 I could have spent on Steam. I mean, I guess it was technically like $8 since I had to buy Jita, but still, highly recommend this game. 100% picking up Rising when it drops this year.